All right. That was me totally taking the 30 seconds that I could to try and figure out what in the hell is going on with StreamYard. I feel like every time I get on one of these devices, hi Pepper, hi John, that they've changed the way that they're operating, and I don't know why it is that they think that that's a good thing to do. I don't know. So anyway, we will do the cliche. Take a moment. Hello, Heather. Hello, Maddie. Hi, everybody. Be sure and let me know in the chat room, where are you at? What are you doing on this fine Saturday? It's October the 8th. It's not fully, Ruth, we'll say the full moon. I kind of have it for tomorrow, but it's going to be, in the evening. After the midnight hour. It's going to be after the midnight hour. And I think a lot of witches out there in the Northern Hemisphere are dancing. They're being cathartic. Heather says grieving. The Aries full moon, the hunter moon. It's the kind of final, the 10th moon. Get your shit together before going into the winter cold, right? Really being able to, can't watch anymore, sad. Heather, yeah, I got banned from a few things this past week, but I'm collaborating with some really fun new hosts that have like a 35 million or more audience. Ban me now. Ban me now. That's not a challenge though. Yeah, I have my tarot deck tonight because I told you guys that I would do some free readings for you. Grieving is really rough. I'm doing some grieving. My aunt who passed away last month, specifically. I'm always missing my grandpa this time of month. Halloween's always very special to my family. My grandma, it's her birthday. My grandpa passed on her birthday. But my Aunt Mary Beth was the coolest person ever. And then we are still waiting for a kidney for my dad. So he is, terminally ill and really struggling day to day. His red blood cell count is very, very low. And I need an O positive kidney. And so the living with terminal illness, I think is weird. It's probably one of the hardest things that I've had to do. So that sucks. But this full moon, it's about catharsis and letting some of that go. I might actually risk the mascari and watch Robin Williams's What Dreams May Come. Again, I used to watch that movie a lot. It's kind of one of those crying movies for me. Since becoming a mother, I can't get past the first 5 minutes of it. Man, I'm going to try because it's very powerful. It's very transformative. And that's really a lot of what the astrological moon for tonight and to tomorrow is about. Deep life decisions, especially for Scorpios and Taurus. Steph, hello, Sarah. I just finished a pig roast at one of my besties, and now I'm outside under the full moon by the fire. Oh, I love it. I love pig roasts too. Oh, that's fun. Heather says, man, that one is a hard one to watch. And it is. If you have not seen What Dreams May Come, very spiritual, very profound, I think, very beautiful, and good themes. It's a sad one though. It's a tearjerker. So I kind of expect to get my chips, my loaded nachos, and get situated and cry. But maybe not. Maybe I have a bunch of you who are going to help support my journey to Kansas City. I have to replace my brakes. Brakes, rotors, oil change. Hopefully not the tires. Don't tell me the tires. I think the tires are fine. But I have one that goes flat a lot. And I think it's just because I have a warped rotor. But anyway, it's just hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So I am doing my best to open up my schedule for more readings, and the Aries full moon special for $42. That's my magic number. And I would love to give you a reading for spirit guides and for, kind of what to let be set on fire. What fire song, what fire energy, what transformations you are making and going through. But let's do some free. Let's do some free tarot readings. And if you guys have questions for Paranormal Sarah, if you guys are interested, I know I have a few of you joining me from the law enforcement and CSI conference that's going to be this North Minnesota this weekend. I'm so glad to see you. I'll see you tomorrow at the lodge. So that's cool. Yeah. Forensic psychology questions, totally open. Elena, hi. Or is it Elena? Ooh. Elena? Elena. I'm not sure how you want me to say that, but I love it either way. Hello. You're going to hear my cricket now. I've got a cricket that I bought for my lizard, haggis. It managed to live. It's found its way into the stump that is in his cage. We can't get him out. So when I turn the heat lamp off at night, the cricket comes out. And I'm kind of nervous and superstitious to kill him because crickets are said to be good luck for good fortune. So Laura from Charlotte, North Carolina, a Pisces, welcome. You guys, if you're new, welcome. You can always go to paranormalsarah.com. You can check out all the cool stuff I got going on. Tomorrow on my social media, I'm going to be selling some of my jewelry pieces that I've got because it's Halloween and it's just, yeah, I'm trying to fund that trip to Kansas City and I've got so much beautiful jewelry that I really hang on to. I need to thin it out so that I can have room for more. No. Yeah, no. But anyway, so that I can share that with you and maybe it will work for your outfits, for your costumes, for whatever it is that you're working. Aries energy is fun. It is a cardinal energy. Hi, Steph. Hi, Laura. Hi, John. Hi, Sandy. Welcome. I love fire energy. My very best friend is a Sagittarius, and that kind of jam is someone's messaging me something, sorry. Man, that really derailed me. It was a message about my dad. Look at that. I can't even. Yeah. Fire energy, she is just the best. And it's impulsive. It's not always thinking. It definitely doesn't make good plans, long-term plans. But they're good at being curious and really doing the things. And even if it means high risk. So Pepper says, man, relationships maybe with a Scorpio. Scorpio right now, because it's a water energy, Scorpio is all about that secretive. You don't hear it coming, a scorpion in the night. And it's venom. And it can, cure you of your wrinkles, but it can also take you down. And you don't know, right? You got to be sure what you're dealing with. And it's relationship, it's intuition, it's life force type stuff, it's water energy. Christy says, I'm doing a birthday horror movie marathon, watching the Fae movies with the Munchkins. I always think of Jennifer Aniston in the Leprechaun movie. That's funny. Man, some of my very fun times in Minneapolis, when I first moved to Minneapolis in the beginning of 2000s, 2009, I remember The Room with Tommy Wiseau was a big thing, and he came and toured, and we all went out and had like food at the diner, and what a crazy experience. Oh, you're going to hear my dog go crazy because my husband's coming home. So I'm a real person. That's how you know I'm a real person. Poltergeist, the original though, not the remake. The let me in, Caroline. My dad, he still will holler Caroline. Caroline. If like I walk into the basement door when I come home or when I'm visiting in Kansas City, I'll come in at night, because I go out a lot of times. I'll get like a late night Sonic slushie or something that I can't get in Minnesota. And I'll come in and I hear, Caroline. It's really funny. And it's kind of just a fun joke. Yeah. I've been trying to watch scary movies to try and like screen them for my children to go back and see if they're appropriate, like Blade. Not. Practical Magic. Yes. Resident Evil. Maybe. Like going back to some of the ones and seeing if it's going to be appropriate for them to watch. So my best friend is a Scorpio. He can be a little confusing, says Elena. Scorpios, man, it's that water energy and that they're not going to do anything but feel. And sometimes that doesn't make a sound and it doesn't have a lot of reason. It's just moving emotion. It's tears and laughter, and it's a range of a spectrum, and it's very subjective. Beetlejuice, yes, on the list for sure. Laura, jump in the line. Everybody on time. Okay, I believe you. For sure. Love Beetlejuice. My kids don't love Beetlejuice so much. It is kind of scary. Some of the scenes in it, I think, are kind of scary. So, yeah, put your favorite horror movies in there. I always grew up loving Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street, but that is inappropriate. That is not child appropriate. Adam's Family, great. And the animated one. I really like the animated one that they did this last few years. Okay, guys, I have my deck ready for any of you who are willing to give me permission. And if you would rather, because yes, this full moon is pretty personal, to have your reading be private and for you to do the $42, absolutely. I would love that. Go and get a full moon reading special. I would love to do that reading for you. Otherwise, I do need your permission to pull a card. It's kind of like vampirism. Or as Dahmer would say, even cannibalism. Like you need to give your permission for it to work. So, Laura, Pepper, any of you guys out there, if you would like me to pull a card for you. Pepper and Laura said, yep, you got it. Okay, so Pepper. Ooh, god dang, man. Okay, so Pepper, right away, this is the card no one ever wants to pull. So you got it. If you took it for the team, Pepper, and this is the Tower. The Tower is that big major arcana card that says shit is really raining down. Rain down! It's really raining down on you, and it's a crazy, crazy time. But you know what? The Tower is really rock bottom. It does suggest that all of the big life changes and transformations are completely out of your control. They're not really even caused by you. It's just like literal, like shock of a lightning, UFOs, usually kind of cool stuff shown. And it's only up from here. A lot of growth comes from the Tower card. And it doesn't mean death. It doesn't necessarily always mean, negative in that way, but it does mean destruction. It does mean the farmer out there completely burning the crops because it's going to be completely rolled over to something new. So hang in there kind of implies that you're going through a lot of stuff. Laura, boom. What card is this? Oh, got to turn it around, Sarah. Oh, burp, burp. Oh, another major arcana, meaning one of those 22 major pathways you would see in the Sephiroth of the Tree of Life, the Lovers. 7 Spanish angels. That's what I've been singing lately with when I hear this card. I love how the artist and illustrator drew this deck. They've got the Cupid there. You've got the snake. You've got the big volcano, I think of Pompeii. The fall leaves, the apples. Yes, the lovers. This is suggestive of a relationship. This is suggesting something that is between two people in a quite romantic space. And that, Laura, there is growth here. There is compromise. There is balance. There is something going on between two people. And to just be aware of what that influence and what that space is like. It's pretty influential. Elina, I do hope I'm saying that right. This is one of my favorite cards. It's one of my all-time favorite cards. One of my all-time favorite cards. And another major arcana. It's kind of suggesting, again, I mean, full moon stuff, yes. But also that Pluto retrograde shift right now in Capricorn. Judgment. Judgment, major arcana card. Boom. This is, you've got the trumpet. He's got his people popping up. Usually this card is showing 3 people. One's positive, one's negative, one's in the middle. That yes, no, maybe. How do you feel about judgment? If all of a sudden you start hearing, the harp, the UFOs, the it's a circle of light. If you start hearing the call back or whatever it is, the revelations sounds like. Are you ready? The alarm clock of life. Are you prepared? Are you like, oh, thank God, get me out of here? Or are you like, oh shit, I didn't say sorry yet? Like, what is it that you feel right now in this current space for the time to be aware? Do it. Do it already. Do what you need to do to get done. Um, and I like the judgment card, because judgment, I think, on ourselves, it's like, who, get over that, get through it, and get done with it. Heather says, man, you've definitely got my permission. I don't know what to ask, though. There is so much in my head. So, Heather, that's a really good point. I think a lot of times when we're meditating, or when we're reaching out for divination or prayer, or anything, there's a lot going on. That's usually when we are reaching out for help, is when we're overwhelmed. So it might be busy, this full moon energy. It's wow, right? I can even hear the trees out there lately. I can hear the crickets. I can hear people moving in the basement. I can hear all of it, and it's too much. It's a little overwhelming. It makes me want to just turn all the lights down and be very quiet. But instead, this Aries hunter, you have to prepare. You have to write it down. You have to take note of it. You have to go, okay, I trust the synchronicity. I'm going to use it. I'm going to be sharpened. Sharpened. I'm going to be attuned, right? So we're just tuning ourselves to things, tuning things down, tuning things up, tuning things out, kind of manifesting where we need to be to have that comfort despite all the craziness that's going on, because it's going to keep being crazy. So, Heather, the more specific your thought and question, the more specific the answer will make sense. That's really, really important. The Three of Cups. Da-da-da-da. Cheers. The Three of Cups, this does suggest kind of a third wheel to a relationship, because it's cups. It's emotional. It's relationships. It's intuitive. It's about feelings, but it's not always romantic, in a sense that it doesn't have to be a third wheel of like, oh my God, does that mean so? No, it can be a collaboration, like an artist, like someone else joining the lunch table. It can be a new friend that you're making. It can be someone kind of coming into the workspace that's going to have new ideas. This is a creative energy. It's usually indicative of maybe female. The three across the board is you're going to have moderation. It's that fulcrum that you're going to have to find a median and a middle way. It's an odd number. So sometimes that can be kind of difficult. It's kind of that first odd number in the space of growth. So being able to share emotion and intuition with someone. Also, the number three is a frequency that there is someone sick in the house. There's someone sick in the house. And it's not like a big sickness or a terminal thing, like my dad needing a kidney, by the way, an O positive one, but that like there's a sniffle or a sneeze, and to be preventative of it now, because when collaborating, that dis-ease balance might have you off kilter. So be preventative to your health and your energy. So kind of an interesting and kind of fun card there, Heather. Christy says, I would like a card, please. Absolutely. Let's pull one for you, Christy. Okay. I laugh not because of the context of this card. I laugh because of this deck and how each and every illustrator has their freedom to do, like the Joker. And when you're dealing with cartomancy, or a deck that is made from just a playing card deck, you don't have the major arcana. You have the minor arcana. You have all of the 4 earth, water, air, fire, and the court cards. And then you've got your Joker. And it's kind of indicative of the higher good and the higher yin and yang, the positive, the negative, the masculine and the feminine. And I do appreciate and love when those cards are left in the deck. So sometimes you'll come across a tarot deck where you've got your 22 major, you've got all of your minor, but then you've got these 2 additional cards that are thrown in there, and you're like, what are these? The golden nuggets, sometimes they're called. And it's usually just a fun way that the illustrator has honored that dualism of the positive and the negative, and the yin and the yang. And this is one of those cards. So which one is it? It is the yin, the sad squirrel. So this is the why so serious. This is the Joker that asks the yin, the in internal questions. So the feminine, the receptive, the internal reflections of your thoughts and your feelings. So this is the earth and the water signs in the astrology space. And the sad squirrel, as you can see, he's got his angry little cloud there. It's got the tree. He's got his bat. He's ready to deal with shit. And this is very, I would say, perfect for the timing of the Aries full moon tonight, especially Christy. This is, you know what? I've had enough. I've had enough, and I'm taking my cloud and we're all going out. And the Aries full moon is going to have a lot of that energy with it, where people are doing things and they're not, maybe not even thinking about it. Try not to be too emotional. Hopefully you have thought about it, felt about it, and what you're doing is in accordance with that. But the sad squirrel would say that there's a lot of female matriarch, like feminine power brewing in a brainstorm. Shelly, and thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to sign up for notifications. Don't forget to tag a friend that might be interested in divination or tarot or astrology, all of those things. Shelly said, I would love a card. Well, Shelly, let's do another 3, kind of back to back on the 3s here, which I think is interesting. I never want to subscribe to coincidence, right? I just want to be aware of it. 3, transformation. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, the Mother, the Maiden, the Crone. It is the Venn diagram that allows us to have a little bit of that middle way. The middle way, the 3 of Wands. This is of fire. So this is of action. As you can see, the guys out there going, okay, what do I do next, sir? Look out into the ocean and see. See, what do you see? And this I love because it's powerful about being observant. It's about being aware of what's around you and what it is that you're going to do next. And that would be the 4, which would be balance, which would be structure. The 3 is that there might be a little collaboration in what you're doing. The third person's the charm. And that there's also probably a big discussion or argument and something that's going to be hollered about before you do it, like a call. Not a huge, exhausting effort. The 3 is still, if you're thinking 1 through 10, still kind of a smaller number. So it's not going to necessarily be a huge life-changing thing. It's not a major arcana card, but it is suggesting that it's going to be something that you're doing. It could be like a move. It could be from one office to the other. It could even be like a vacation. But this is something that is going to be a behavior shift. That does include other people. So I hope that makes sense and finds you well. And don't forget, guys, you can go to paranormalsarah.com if you have more questions, or just let me know in the chat. Steph, can you please pull a card for me also? Okay, I'm sure that tower will come back up for me. Nope, I am just going through the deck. I'm not putting them back in there. She said, or the death card. And don't you guys worry about one necessarily being a horrible negative thing, or that it would even put that out there for you. This is simply that someone giving you a map when you show up for Disneyland and saying, yeah, don't forget there's a major construction down today. And you go, well, shit. It's not that it's a bad thing, especially now that you know where it is, you can avoid it. So I'm always excited sometimes to see those cards, because that's just that indication that, okay, now I know it's there. I can plan and prevent and move and navigate with it. So Steph, 4 of Cups. This is the balanced structure, earth, water, air, fire, but of water. It is of emotions. It is of relationships. It is of those feelings. It's that intuitive connection that you're having with other people, that there's a lot of balance. But look at this card. This is like, you know what? Hey, you've got earth, water, air, fire. It's all complete. It's resolution. But you know what? It's only 40%. This is a domestic space, and sometimes it's too early. This is when I think sometimes we're looking at like a young couple in high school, and they're like, I'm going to get married and I'm going to do this. And the other people in their life are like, hey, you have a whole life ahead of you. You don't have to do that. And they're going, look, I'm going to do what I want. And the world going, you've got, these options in front of you. You've got all of these cool things. You can still have other options. No. Very stubborn about what I want and the options that are present, but you may not be fully aware of everything and the potential that is ahead of you. Especially, again, I want to repeat this Aries full moon. It's about making space. It's about purging. It's about action and fire and dancing and catharsis and movement and singing and all of those things. So think about what you want to do, what your goals are, and how to make room for them. That's going to be very powerful for you. Elina, I have been struggling lately and I have been experiencing weird and concerning visions too. That's going to be a lot of there's some Neptune and Pisces vibes going on, all of this retro space. If you're having really cool dreams, it might be an indication that you're a pretty empathetic, heavy on the water in your birth chart type person, meaning that you are really easily influenced by the energies around you, that if you're around someone, you kind of morph or move with them, that you're in rhythm with people, maybe that you even struggle with particular boundaries. Right now, with retrograde, 6 planets, that is going to be, your spirit guides and kind of your additional supports out there screaming to help you. Crazy dreams, insomnia, talking in your sleep, weird coincidences, the radio showing strange things, peripheral stuff out of the corner of your eye. It's definitely something to take note of, especially when you aren't able to look up into the sky and see guidance. And our ancestors, that residual energy and panic is there. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? They are there. They're just behind us in retrograde. They're coming back. Chill out, calm down. And we do know better and we know why, right? Laura, my child was born on Valentine's Day. Elena, Elena. Thank you. I love these cards, like the Monty Python meets Beavis and Butthead. Heather, what a great way to describe it. It is. And I will say the illustrator is very, very knowledgeable about what the cards mean and some of the really cool symbols and traditions behind each one. I love to see how illustrators do that. Laura, you're very, very welcome. And you guys don't forget, if you want a full reading, you want to see what like songs and spirit guides and things come up, I can send you an audio file. I can send you some visuals and we can do one specifically for you, even with your birth chart. I'm doing reading specials for $42 to save money for this month. So just let me know. You can check that out. Elena, I am my own worst critic. Does this have anything to do with judgment? Laugh out loud. Of course it does. I think, everyone is their own worst critic because you know all the shit, right? You know not only the highlight reel, but the outtakes. So the idea is hopefully that you're fair with yourself, that when you are judging, you are doing the Gemini's, okay, what about you? Okay, now you. However, you only see what you see if you're not listening to other people or you don't have good energy coming into you, perspectives and feedback and criticism. I, the Virgo, really struggle to take criticism. So it's been nice to work in the field of psychology that requires that you do supervision and get like weekly breakdowns, and then working in trial. We have mock trials where people are just berating you and prosecutors are berating you, and trolls online. Anytime I do anything online telling me how fat I am or how big my double chin is or how, I mean, you name it. I've heard it. I've heard it. It doesn't matter when I do public speaking, that you're fair, that you're fair, that you're fair, that hopefully you're hearing as much positive as negative. Judgment is hard in that way, I think. Pepper says, don't forget to like this live. Absolutely. And thanks, Pepper, for reminding me, because yeah, YouTube and Ustream, and whether it's from Paranormal Sarah or the Paranormal Channel or Odyssey Radio or whatever, it'll get shut down, erased, and let go or banned if it doesn't have any likes or views or things like that. So if you do enjoy it, let me know, subscribe, like, and I'm always trying to do more of these as my schedule allows. I have been sensing judgment. A lot of judgment. Yeah. In the space too, I think, as people go into the winter, kind of taking this harvest hunter space is okay. What am I taking with me? Who's going to survive? Who deserves to go in the hut? That's a real vibe right now. Heather says this makes perfect sense. Thank you. Thank you. And remember, guys, thank you, because if you didn't volunteer, I wouldn't have the ability to really do these readings. I'd just be yapping to myself. So I really appreciate it. Jacene says, man, I would love a card, and so would Fun for All. I'm an Aries, and I have a legal issue coming up. How would that, or what would that outcome be? I'm so nervous. I love Fun for All, and you can absolutely share the things in the chat. I don't mind. Sometimes I think people will get nervous that it may be a cold reading at that point, because I mean, I'm a forensic psychologist, and the more words you give me, absolutely, the more specific we can be. But Madame Lenormand and all of the people I think doing cartomancy before us would say, and psychologists would agree, the more specific your question, the more specific your answer. So it's good to think specifically, but you don't have to type that in the chat. So thank you, Fun for All, for sharing that. And let's pull a card for you, Jacine, and then you, Fun, we'll pull one. So Jacine, ooh, the star. When you wish upon a star. This is pouring out all the water. What is the water? Why is the rum gone? Maybe it's the last of the drinking water. We don't know. Maybe it's poison. We don't know. That's the star, though. You have to have faith. You gotta have the faith, and I can touch your body. It's faith. You gotta have faith. And the star really is pouring everything out, and it's a major arcana card. So this is a major life transformation that you're making, a major risk. But you know what? This is where we are, Pinocchio. This is where we are. That you're looking to a higher source, to a higher power, and that you are giving, pouring out catharsis, pouring out your water, your life source into this, and that is faith, the star, the star. That you're going to have a wish, something bigger than you. I really love that. I would say that this is a good thing, a dream, something coming to fruition that you've been thinking about and manifesting in your visual space and in your mind's eye for a while. Jacine, thank you. Fun for All. Let's talk about that legal issue and that Aries energy. It's an Aries full moon. So that fire energy, it is about doing the things. Ooh, yeah. I see a pale moon rising. I love this. What perfect, perfect, perfect card for Aries full moon. That it would be for you and Aries, and that this is something rising. And what would the outcome be? The moon, this is a major arcana card. Again, very big thing. But the moon is cyclical. The moon is always there. The moon is opposite the light. The moon, it needs the light. The moon is usually feminine. It's associated with the werewolves and the lycanthropy, werewolf, the change, the transformation, the menstrual cycle of a woman, the creation of life, the something coming into nothing or of nothing from nothing. It's kind of cool. And I like how it's got the loyalty of the man's best friend there. You've got the lobster or the crab because it's water, the moon, right? The flow. And then you've got the towers of judgment back there because, the moon waxing and waning, new and full, and that you're going to be up and down, high and low, the tide in and out, push and pull. But what does this mean as far as like what would an outcome be, or how do you see this specifically in that space? Is this a good card? This would say, you know what, you're going to have to go with the flow, that there's going to have to be a lot of patterns and timing, and that if you can time this right, the Aries is about what are you doing? Are you following up? Are you calling? Are you going? Are you signing the forms? Are you notarizing? Are you doing the things you need to do? If you are doing the things you need to do, there's absolutely no reason to be nervous because things will come full circle. The moon is a great card for manifesting things, especially growing things, nurturing things. That's what feminine energy is good for nurturing, for growing, for really letting it out, being a little crazy. Things might be unexpected, but I would say this is a good card. So no worries, no worries. New love. Hi, can I have a general for October? Absolutely. And thank you, New Love. I've not seen your screen name before, so you are new. You're not just new love, you're new. Oh, man, how many major arcana cards could we have? Well, we can only have 22, but here we are. Here's another one. I like how this one is drawn. The Magician, the infinity symbol, the wand, the sword, the cup, the pentacle on the table with the things, the audience there. The Magician, which the number one, it comes after the Fool. The Fool on the hill, he's the first, he's the beginning, he's naive. It's the creation, it's the bing into existence. But the next one, the one, You have all the tools at your disposal. You have absolutely everything at your fingertips, but what you need is to be observed. What you need, the magician, that purpose, that right-hand man. What is our magic? What are we doing? What is our goal? What is our momentum? What is your intention? You know, it's Merlin needing a court, needing a king, needing an audience, the entertainer needing that reciprocated energy, that siphon and that pump and that movement. And the magician really is about paying attention and observing. You have all the tools that you need. Whatever this thing is that you're contemplating, whether it be a new job or a new project, the magician says, "Ah, you have everything you need." What you need to be most aware of is your audience, your demographic, your market, the people around you that you can get feedback from that are watching you. So put a mirror to that and see how you can use that energy. It's very, very cool. Pepper, I love the Ten of Swords in that deck. It is so humorous and spot on. All the cards are really funny. And I also have to say, usually in a tarot, because I have grown up and for so long done tarot, the numerology and the symbolism, if you're religious, you can get on board. If you're into mathematics, you can get on board. If you know astrology and that's your strength, you can, whatever it is you might already know, whatever your niche or your strength is mentally, the tarot deck is a very ancient form of putting any and all of that together in a form of patterns. So all the cards really do mean something specific. You don't need a guidebook. Once you know the major and minor and that you see it kind of how it mathematically falls, it's really easy. However, some decks, they'll put together what they pull from each card. So the card might be death, which isn't just about people dying. It's about death. It's about rebirth. It's about compost and recycling, right? And it's very metaphorical and all the things. But that you go to this particular book, and it's not huge. It's kind of small, and the little sayings to give you an idea. They look like this. So the major arcanas are kind of bigger, and then the minor are a little bit smaller. And this is the medley, the mystical medley deck. So the minor will have something like that. And it's fun because it just has a tiny little description that's really funny. They're very funny and they're very comical. They're much like the illustrations on the cards. So it's kind of a cool deck. And I I had a young witch, and I offer this service to anyone. If you want to be traditional in the ways of divination, the tradition is that you don't buy your first deck. It is gifted to you. Now, why is that? Well, there's a lot of interpretations of it, but it was explained to me, and I appreciate it as, you have your yin and your yang, your masculine, your feminine, and kind of the powers of the universe that really go into cartomancy anyway. And your thoughts and your feelings are already what's with you and your intentions. And if you want a deck and you know what you want, you're kind of putting it out there, the idea that it would then come to you, that it would be gifted to you, that it comes from this area so that it is an equal and opposite balanced experience already, and that it's kind of a complete thing. So anyway, you're supposed to be gifted your deck, and people are like, I know, but I don't have anyone to buy me one. And I was like, hey man, send me how much your budget is. I'll go buy you one. And I bought this deck for someone because they had that vibe, and this deck spoke to me. And once I saw the deck, once it came in the mail, and I was making their little package for them, I had to have it. I had to have it. So I went and bought myself one. So anyway, some decks just speak to you. Hi, Jason. Welcome. Pepper says, man, that tower really explains a lot. I don't see the negative, though. So thank you. And I love that. Steph said, and of course it is. And I am a Cancer. It's just perfect. Can I please have a card, says Ruth. Absolutely. And you're very welcome, Steph. You're very welcome. And Heather, yes, the dreams, pretty vivid, pretty wild. If you want to get crazy, you can put a bay leaf under your pillow. You can there's all sorts of really fun superstitious things you can do with herbs and, to make it subtle or to make it more vivid, whichever your goal. Ruth. Man, another major arcana card, guys. What's going on? Justice. You can see she's holding her thing there. We are in the phases and final cycles of Libra season. A lot of justice themes lately. Well, is that fair? Well, what's fair? What's good? What's bad? What's right? What's wrong? What's silver? What's brass? A lot of knowing the difference. Justice, usually blind, meant to be not about what you see, but sometimes what you feel and what you hear, encouraging you to use your other senses, not just visuals, and also to get both perspectives, not just one. Ruth, justice. If we if you're a fellow American such as myself, justice for all with liberty and justice for all. What does justice mean to you? I often am thinking of Anubis in this space, the weighing, being weighed, being measured. What are you measuring? The heart, the mind? It's important. It will usually be between two things and should be between two things. So think about that, Ruth, and meditate on justice. That is going to be a big theme for whatever specific question it is that you are asking about. Oh, there's work checking in. All right. So you are very welcome. Thank you, John, and thank you. Hey, thank you, Sally, for joining us and for sharing. I really appreciate that. Kate, good evening. I would like a card. My close friend. Oh, no. Kate, I hate to hear this. I hate to hear this. I work in forensics and I'm constantly surrounded by a lot of tragedy and trauma. So sometimes I don't always feel like I have the correct response just from being desensitized. But man, it, it's almost hard for me to even mentally go there because I think about, if I had that happen to a close friend of mine, um, and it has happened to my mom. It's happened to other people close to me in my life, but close friends, peers, it's a very special space. It's a supportive space. And lately, like I've repeated and will continue to repeat until 2023, this year, 2022, is a theme that is rippling out from 2014 and from 2009. It's a theme that is about Pluto transformation purpose. It's very much in this space with this full moon dealing with denial and knowing what you know. And so having a good friend to talk to about those things is really helpful. So I hope that you are able to reach out to people, Kate. Let's see what we got. Okay. So this is the Knight of Swords. I love swords. This is air energy. Now, air energy, that is a twister, that is a tornado, that is a powerful, powerful force. It is also communication. So you can't see necessarily words unless they're written down. And an argument isn't something that is easily measured. It comes and goes, and volume and pitch and all these other things. And words are momentary sometimes in this. And so air, it is a debate, it is an argument, it is a cooperative moving space between people that's usually indicative of some kind of conflict. So there is a conflict going on. You're in air, but you're in the court cards, meaning that this is pretty advanced situation and there's a man involved. It is masculine in a sense that it is air, but it's masculine in that it's assertive, it's direct, it's forward, and it's the knight. So this is the fighter of the fighter. So this is like the Lagatha of the queens. This is the widowed woman. This is the person who is vengeful and they have a sword tongue and they're witty and they're sharp and they are fueled to fight. And if you're going into battle, if you're going to be in an argument, you want a good lawyer. You want, that person who's going to go to battle and step up and know what they're doing. The knight knows what they're doing in battle. So this is a good card to have to feel that you are supported. You've got somebody yelling and screaming on your back, and that also that you are in a fight right now. You are in a space of conflict, but you've got people over your shoulder that are fighting for you and with you, and to hang in there. So there you go. Pepper says, man, my dreams have been crazy too. Elena says, yep, I'm totally an empath and sensitive, and I feel those energies very deeply. The peripheral stuff for sure. Very crazy dreams. You're very welcome. When you get tired, I'm hearing orchestra music playing. Christy, that's kind of cool and interesting. There have been a lot of reports with MUFON and with people seeing and hearing a lot of strange things. Orchestra music, sometimes associated with wendigos, Native Americans hearing things in the wind, hearing the reeves of the wind moving through the leaves. Man, it can be the season changing. You know what I mean? Peggy, you can go to paranormalsarah.com, or wherever you are joining me now, you can just click message me directly. I would love to give you a private reading. I would love to get your support, only because I'm saving up for that trip to go back and see my dad. And so anything and everything helps. My full moon reading for Aries, that special is $42. And I would love to be able to have the time to connect with you. So if you're wanting a private reading, you can check me out, paranormalsarah.com, or just private message me. And let me know if you guys have any more questions. Let me know. I love you joining me for the lives, Jennifer. So thank you for tuning in. And yeah, woohoo! Praying for a good outcome. Thank you, Fun for All. I really appreciate that. Kate says, man, I went to college for criminal justice, so this is so cool to be forensics. Kate, I love the work I do. My goal, I think, when I started was to be like a criminal detective and to work doing interrogations. And I do love doing interrogations and assessments. And my goal would probably to be the forensic assessor for the state of Minnesota, if not doing more private contracted assessments for like the Department of Justice and things like that. But right now I work statewide through Minnesota and in some surrounding areas as well, nationwide, really, working with sex offense and heinous crime. So if you're a top tier sex offender or violent crime going through treatment, you mm, will probably come my way. And that is not what I thought that I would be doing at all when I started in forensic psychology. My specialty is in language, linguistics, and psychopathy. And then I spent a lot of years doing addiction therapy and working with people through addiction and working through my own addictions and the addiction to violence and some of my dissertations on that. But sex offense was not what I had planned on. But sexual assault and domestic violence is what I do Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And I've really enjoyed some of the avenues of working with people, and it's always a growing field. So I'm always learning new things, and yeah, it's not something that's easily plannable. Case by case, it's different, but I feel like it's my way of recycling some of my crazy experiences and my trauma and my sexual assaults and my things. So it's my way of doing something for that. So all right, Sierra, let's get to a few of these last people requesting a reading, and then we will jump off here and enjoy our full moon, go dance crazy, and watch a movie and have our snacks. So, Sierra, or is it Clara? Because I'm going blind. Clara, it's Clara. Clara, Clara, I see you. Clara, man, it's another major arcana card, guys. What's going on? A lot of big shifting. Temperance. I like the temperance space because this is about influence and how it is that you're having moderation and what is it that you're doing to delegate and what is going on in your world. What is it that you are breaking down and working through and working with and navigating around, and what magic are you conjuring? Because I think of alchemy, I think of, you know what? I'm really called to see what this person has said for temperance because I've not read. And the fact that they have this person wearing googly eyes. Sometimes this is shown as like a priest or a very religious person. So I want you to, again, look at this character. He looks like someone who might be like a Ren and Stimpy character. At the end of a long and winding road, you will frolic. Deeming and beaming with joy at the places in which you have arrived, the golden path is lined with adoration and accomplishments. It's been that long journey that's brought you here, great working, requiring great undertakings. a lifetime sometimes to achieve. And this angel within has taken flight and unleashed a superstar of potential. Contradictions in your life will firmly, in both hands, be true to self, flowing, reinventing self over and over again, finding right measures to succeed. Highs in life. There is no wishful thinking here when fate and ambition combine with the all great things that are possible in this world. This is like Elton John energy. This is pretty powerful, kind of, flamboyant, exciting, gonna do it, wearing the Pope hat, kind of costume energy. This makes me feel like, man, if you were gonna do something and go out, put on the jacket, Clara. Do the thing, color your hair, do that transformative thing that makes you feel like you need to take the inner potential and make it kinetic, especially for this Aries space. I think it's going to be pretty powerful. Someone had asked, what is the full chart breakdown? I'll give you, I do one right now with Matt, the master astrologer that I do my podcast every Tuesday with. And we have a special right now. It's $100 and we do a full hour breakdown with you. And it's so that he and I, it's like 50-50. And that way we can break it down that way. And his objective breakdown of your birth chart and then my more intuitive breakdown is really, really cool. Otherwise, if you would like just a regular reading for me to do it, it's like 80. And then I sit down and do it all myself and try and break down all the things. And again, you're free to check out all of my reading specials. I do all sorts of really cool stuff over at paranormalsarah.com. You can read through divination, tarot, runes, bones, palm readings, whatever you want, guys. Luckily, my mom was a crazy gypsy woman that taught me all the ways. So I appreciate a good challenge too, by the way. Latarsha, I've been seeing a fox. Ooh, I love it. Anyone and everyone, if you ask that, of course, what does a fox mean to you? The psychology of interpretations and like animus, seeing archetypes, it's what does it mean to you first and foremost, but then whatever synchronicities lead you to where you get your source of answer. You're asking me, and what's really crazy is I love the fox. The fox is a very powerful spirit guide for me. It's associated with the little prince. I see it in associations with being tame and taming something. And the book, The Little Prince, there is a moment where the little prince is sitting down and talking with the fox about what it means to be disciplined and have routine. And instead of seeing it as a negative, it's quite a positive thing. And it's a really creative, Gene Wilder, curious way of approaching chaos. And I love the fox. It is a solitary creature, though, so it's kind of whimsical. Hello, Ben. Ruth, pulling you a card. I think I did already. Please let me know. Can I have a card? Said Latarsha. Ruth and Latarsha, can we pull one for both of you? Because I think I already did Ruth, but if I didn't, let's do it for both because the coincidence is that it would be for the exact same thing. I do believe it will be. Both of you. Both of you. Gosh, I love this card. I love the Grim Reaper. I love his shadow. I love how the illustrator has drawn this. The Five of Cups, the halfway point of a relationship, of an intuitive space, of a deep reflection of your emotions about something, about a connection, bond, or cord that you have with someone. And look in the mirror there, right? What are you even seeing? You're not necessarily getting a full spectrum picture. You're not getting a full, complete conclusion. You're not getting all the information because it's only 5. It's only 50%. So the Five of Cups, man, there's usually, this is, maybe contemplating divorce or separation or skeptical because you don't have all the information. So this is a natural vibe to be skeptical about the reflections and feelings you have about a certain relationship space. And don't be overly negative. Don't be overly positive. Give yourself the time to process because you're going to need a little bit more information and time before you do anything because it's 50% of water. So there's still going to be, 4 to 5 weeks before you see anything coming out of the fruition of this, before you see or have complete information to make a better decision. So yeah, it's a reflective space. Pretty powerful. Jason Says, man, I give you permission. Yes. Jason, the Queen of Wands. Look at her. She looks like, who does she look like? Who's the woman who is flying and wrecked her plane over the ocean? Amelia Earhart. Thank you, my love. Look at those lions, Leo energy, Queen of Wands. That's because we're fire. There's the cat, the Sphinx sometimes on this card, the sunflower, solar energy, sun energy, fire energy, Leo energy. We're in an Aries full moon right now. Woo! But this is the queen. So this is kind of that matriarchal, the grandma, the mother, the woman, the fiery woman, the ego that is about the costume and the flair and maybe some of the more female stereotypical role things that you see, or maybe even just about a female vibe. But the queen is a nurturing fire. So this is kind of a powerful court card about what it is that you're doing. You know what you're doing. You're the queen. This is the Lady Gaga card. You not, are pretty much an expert at what it is that you're doing. And the king is the top of the behaviors, like the best of the best, like you might as well retire. The queen is still there delegating and working behind the scenes, still pretty active in things and doing things and enjoying what it looks like to be on top. So there's some ego here about the things that are happening, and it looks like there's some good things happening. And this is a powerful card about celebration. So take joy, celebrate, and be grateful. A lot of really fun themes. Derry, nice to meet you. Lori, so good to see you. Cheers. I will pull a card for you. Derry and Lori. Lori and Derry. Gosh, I love just those names together even. So let's pull a card. Derry and Lori, King of Swords. Man, this is that swords. We were talking about air. You're seeing the Mothman. He's given you some Illuminati hand signals there. If you're a conspiracy theorist. A lot of imagery, a lot of really powerful king of the castle, his feet, the way he's sitting, the way he's a monk on the mountain, king of the world. King of Swords, though, king of the argument, winning the argument. This is the lawyer that wins. This is the judge that wins. This is the answer is given. This is the resolution you want. This is also that the conflict is over. The fight is through. And you've come out on top. Everything is okay. But also, there's going to be collateral damage. You're now going to be moving into what to do next. There's going to be a lot of things to do now. Cleaning the bodies, killing and burning all the dead bodies, finding the medals and dog tags. Like, there's a lot to do after a battle. So this is not necessarily a warning to like, get ready, but you don't have to worry about the fight anymore. And that's really a fun thing. I think for Lori, Derry, whatever it is that you guys are working through, the battle is done. Now you get to do the cleanup and you get to engage more in the stuff that you want to be doing towards your goal, which is a good thing. It's always good to be putting that effort towards something. Hi, Jack. Please do your best to not troll and be mean and be someone that has to be blocked and hacked, because my group of people are, man, sometimes you don't want to mess with them. So just be careful. I warn you, it's not a threat. It's just kind of like a promise or something. So just be wary of being rude in my chat. They coming for you. Kate, you're very welcome. Air is my sign, and I have been experiencing these peripherals, so it's totally making sense. Good. Elena says, man, I was a criminal justice major too, but my health interrupted my studies. Oh, I know that. I did the law enforcement training in Minnesota, and right as my IUD was like exploding in my body, and I was really getting sick, and that was fun. So yeah, Courtney, first time watching. Well, welcome. And yes, you can absolutely pull a card. Eight of Wands. Here we go, guys. Finishing up the hour. Courtney, thank you for asking. That permission is so important. Eight of Wands. Wands is fire. It is action. It is something that you're doing. It's thou shalt not pass. And look at these witches on their brooms. They're out flying around doing something. They're not sitting around just dancing naked under the full moon. They're out getting their shit done. And there's lots of them. Eight, not just eight. Are there just eight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, that just the illusion that there's more. It's really well done. Hard to count them almost. These ladies are ready. This is the fight. I love 8 because it's an even number. It's the 4 on 4. It's structure. It's domestic strength. It's a good foundation times 2. So this is that your behaviors are built on really good structures and that things are going to go down exactly the way that you planned and that things are going to happen exactly as they have been deemed to happen and that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. And woo! Dun, 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 dun. And so this is kind of exciting, Courtney, that the actions and things that you've planned and the projects that you've prepared are going to be unfolding in a kinetic energy that's going to have a good outcome. And the 8 of Wands says it's 80% of the way through that project. So the momentum is good and just kind of keep your nose to the grindstone. Heather, thank you. I really appreciate you guys joining me. Especially here on the full moon. Behind me, you can see is my altar. This is where I've got a lot of my spells and things worked up. Over here behind me, I don't have the light on, but it's my jewelry box and I've got it out because I'm going to be putting a lot of my jewelry for sale tomorrow, thinning out a lot of what I collect. I really love historical jewelry, haunted pieces, cool items. And if it's something that you are also interested in, curiosities and spell jars and things, let me know. Go to paranormalsarah.com or just sign up for my social media stuff and you'll see them there on the stories and stuff and just chime in. I do Venmo and PayPal and all the stuff. So Heather, love the time spent in the space. Thank you so much for joining me. I think it's always fun to have good company in a full moon. It's important what you do tonight. So water your plants, take a nice hot shower, bath, take a moment to just look up at the sky and see that big moon that we've used to measure things for eons and know that there is a connection with that. I think it's really powerful to know that the Aries moon is going to be driving people crazy. If you're working in social services, it's going to be a crazy night. Buy yourself the extra candy bar if you need. Do what you got to do to be grounded because the fire, that joker energy, that trickster energy, it is out there. The Aries, burn it all down, is afoot. So Lori, thank you. Can you send me the link for all the things? Yes, I will put that paranormalsarah.com or just message me. Yes, yes, yes. And so Lori, I got you that. I hope that as I'm scrolling down to just check, Jason, I got you. Ruth got you. Hello from South Carolina. Welcome. Tanya, welcome. And Lori says, man, that was more interesting than I even expected. Well, that's fun. I like to be more interesting than expected than less interesting. Elena, I love what you do. The passion is there and I look forward to getting to know you more. Well, that makes me happy to hear because, I've been working in the paranormal for a long time. My grandmother, my mother, the realm of ancestry coming from Native American to just Sinti, Gypsy, European, nomadic, fun, observing people, being connected with people, music, passion, posture, speaking. That's the jam, and I love language and I love communicating with people. COVID has been hard for me, taking a step back from the conventions and the public speaking and the Comic-Cons and the travel because I love it so much. And I'm trying to get back into that. But, working on your doctorate and being a mom and a wife and a sister and really trying to be there for my dad, who, as I know I've shared over and over, I'm waiting for a kidney. So if anybody's planning on dying, please give me your kidney first. It's an O positive kidney that we're waiting for. He's got good Pasteur syndrome. So he's at like 2% on his kidneys and he's really struggling just day to day. And so, yeah, that's what I am saving up for with these readings. If you guys would like to support that and invest in a reading, see what the spirits and what the tarot cards have for you, let me know. Absolutely. Let me know. Check out paranormalsarah.com. My full moon reading special is only $42. So, yeah, keep that. It was my recent tattoo, I think, too. Someone had asked, why is that your lucky number? I've got a lot of stories about it. But a lot of reasons. And so, yeah, 42 is the magic number for the full moon tonight. And you guys, I do hope that you reach out and that I'm able to connect with you and that you join me. Sign up for notifications. I do these often. I do them preferably weekly if I get the chance. And if you love astrology, every Tuesday I do the podcast with Matthew Slozier, Master Astrologer, and we go through the week. We break down all the jams for the week and give you the expectations to be your own psychic. It's really cool. So yes, let me know. Ruth says, man, I'm doing two fields, medical and bus driver. That is cool. Medical, crazy. Bus driving, also crazy. I thought about bus driver field because the school over here was needing bus drivers. And I thought, man, how much would I need to be paid to drive kids screaming through snowy roads in the winter with a bus? You couldn't do it. It's so much. So yeah. Anyway, you guys, I love you joining me. I love you guys being people that want to learn like me. I like to be a know-it-all, and I like to also know that I've got a lot to learn. And so the more people I can surround myself with that are fun, curious, positive, healthy, fun people, that's what I'm looking for. So join me at paranormalsarah.com, guys, and sign up for notifications for when we go live again. And I will see you next time. Have a great full moon. Be safe and take that moment of gratitude. Until next time, we'll see you then.